So, you're thinking about getting ferrets?
What?
Ferrets can be impossibly cute. Loyal, funny, cuddly, but they're also tiny chaos gremlins. Fighty, bitey, and yes, a little bit stinky. So, are ferrets the right pets for you? If you've ever watched a ferret video and thought, I need one of those in my life, hold that thought, because before you bring home a pair of sock bandits, we need to talk about what they actually are and whether they'll fit into your world. Because ferrets might be amazing companions, but if your lifestyle doesn't fit, they can be a total nightmare. By the end of this video, you'll either be running to the rescue centre or running in the other direction. The word ferret literally comes from the Latin for thief, and if you've ever owned one, you'll know that's spot on. Although the name actually comes from their distinctive bandit mask. But they go by many other names too. Floof noodle, cat snake, limousine rat, snuggle sausage, slinky dinky, sentient sock. And honestly, all of them are accurate.
Good boy.
Ferrets aren't rodents, they're mustelids, related to otters and badgers. They're not wild animals either. Historically, they were domesticated from polecats and used to flush out rabbits from burrows. So if you already keep small pets like rabbits, mice or reptiles, ferrets don't naturally see them as friends. They see them as a snack. Size-wise, ferrets range from a dainty 1 pound, like my girls, to big 5-pound boys with an annual winter chub that makes them bulk up by nearly half their body weight again before slimming down in the spring. There are other variations in breed, like micro ferrets and the long-haired Angoras, but you'll need a specialist breeder for those. Standard ferrets come in a wide range of colours and markings, but by far the most common are sable, like Wriggles and Luffy, champagne, like Scruffles, and black-eyed whites, like Zorro, who actually only has one eye, but that's a whole other story. Pink-eyed white ferrets, or albinos, are also fairly common, their markings coming from a lack of pigmentation in the skin and eyes. And how long will these agents of chaos be in your life? The average lifespan is 5 to 7 years, which is tragically short for a creature with so much personality. The longest you can expect them to live to is in the region of 10 to 12 years if you're incredibly lucky and care for them well. So will ferrets fit into your day-to-day life? Ferrets are crepuscular, which is a fancy word meaning they naturally wake up at dawn and dusk. But living in your home, they will typically adjust that pattern to be awake when their favourite humans are around and active. The rest of the day and night, for up to 18 hours, they will be fast asleep. This makes them great pets if you're out of the house all day, but you will need to be around morning and night to give them at least 4 to 6 hours total a day of active playtime outside of their cage. And unless you have a dedicated room where they can play unsupervised, you're going to have to be around to keep an eye on things, as ferrets are magnets for trouble and strife. This can also make planning a vacation difficult, as your pet sitter will have to be happy and able to spend that time with them every day. And not everyone is comfortable taking care of these wriggly, bitey little monsters, who will definitely try and take advantage of any nervous newbies who take charge for the week. Ferrets are mostly silent, so great for apartment living. The loudest thing they do is an excited little chuckle called duking. Oh, and pushing balls around on a wooden floor or scrabbling at the cage door. But you could get away with blaming that on your neighbour's kids. The bad news is ferrets poop a lot, about every 4 hours. Litter training should be considered a suggestion, not a rule.
Zorro, why are you asleep in the poo tray?
So carpeted floors could get pretty rank over time. And many ferrets like to stash food in little secret stockpiles, which, if you're feeding a raw meat diet, can get really nasty with flies and maggots in summer. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. How much will it cost? A good cage and setup will set you back around £300 to £400, with additional costs for enrichment items and toys. Depending what you feed them, you can add £15 to £50 each per month, and across the average life of a ferret, vet's bills can mount up to anywhere between £20 to £80 a month, depending how unlucky you get with common ferret health issues. Most of these ailments will tend to happen from 3 years up, so you need to be putting money aside each month from the start if you can't afford to shell out £500 for random unexpected vet bills. One last note on the cost that is vital. Ferrets are much happier and easier to care for if they live in pairs or groups. There's more details about that in the video linked here. So apart from the cage setup, you can times the food and vet costs by the number of ferrets you're getting. In the end, if you want a tidy, low-maintenance pet, ferrets will break your wallet and your furniture. But if you don't mind adjusting your routine, you'll laugh every single day.
Oh, you just hit Scruffy in the face with it.
Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, ferrets smell. Always. Feeding them right and keeping their litter trays clean and bedding washed can improve things a lot, but all ferrets have a musky smell from oil that comes out of their skin. You can't wash it away as they need the oil for a healthy coat, and bathing them too often will just make their glands produce more. They also have a powerful stink gland, like a skunk, which lets off a poof when they're scared, hurt, or fighting. It doesn't happen too often, but when it does, you really know about it. And most pet shop ferrets in the USA have had this gland surgically removed, which is a horrible, dangerous operation that many young ferrets don't survive, so avoid it if you can. Some people are more sensitive to smell, so if anyone in the family is unsure, I suggest visiting with ferrets and getting them up in your face before making a decision. If you decide to get ferrets, your house will become theirs. They're basically tiny Houdinis with teeth.
No!
And they will make it their mission to access any area they're not allowed. An open doorway is an irresistible invitation, and unless your ferret goes outside on a leash regularly, they might not be able to find their way back home. To keep them occupied and out of trouble, they need enrichment. Tunnels, hammocks, places to climb and dig. And they need companionship. Ferrets are not solitary animals, as I've said before. One ferret alone will be bored and miserable unless you can be their full-time best friend. Ferrets are smart, which is fun when you're teaching them tricks, and less fun when they're working out how to get onto the desk that they're not allowed on.
Actually.
So, what's it actually like when you bring ferrets into your life? Often they bite, especially when they're young. I have a full guide about why ferrets bite and how to stop them linked here, but just know you're likely going to go through literal teething problems when they first arrive. When ferrets feel like a cuddle, they're amazing snuggle buddies, but forcing a ferret to love you when it's in chaos mode is a bit like juggling with razor wire. Once they get a bit older, they'll become more mellow, and anecdotally it seems that male ferrets have a tendency to chill out more than females. That is certainly my experience, but you should also know it's a complete lottery when it comes to ferret personalities, so there really are no guarantees. Like dogs, ferrets can be trained through praise and reward. You can teach recall, fetch, even harness walks. I taught my girls this cute trick for treats. And when they want to come out of the cage, they know to put their little front paws on my hand. Litter training is also very possible, but it doesn't mean they'll always stick to the rules. And the bond? It takes time and practice, but when it happens, it's magic. Ferrets will follow you around, bounce with joy when you come home, and sometimes even stash you with their toys, which Scruffles is famous for. If you want predictable affection, ferrets will frustrate you.
Ow, let go.
But if you enjoy a relationship built on mischief, surprises, and mutual respect, you'll adore them. Now for the tough bit. Ferrets are obligate carnivores, so they can only digest meat. Feeding them the wrong kibble long term can mean health problems and stinkier poop. And with so many products made for ferrets actually being quite bad for them long term, you really can't trust what it says on the packaging. So you're going to need to research their diet thoroughly if you don't want to give them cancer down the line. And no, I'm not being hyperbolic. My treats guide here will give you a good starting point if you're serious. When it comes to veterinary care, ferrets are classed as exotic pets, so not every vet can treat them. Specialist vets are more expensive, and you might have to travel to find one. It's worth checking where your closest ferret-trained vet is as part of this early decision-making process. And unless you're extraordinarily lucky, things will go wrong. Ferrets are prone to adrenal disease, insulinoma, lymphoma, and digestive issues like IBS and blockages. They can even catch colds from humans. And with such small, finely tuned bodies, an untreated illness can turn deadly really fast. You might have noticed there are a lot of not so positive things in this video, and that's on purpose.
Did I break you for a moment?
Because ferrets aren't easy pets. Anyone who tells you otherwise is completely delulu. But if you're still here thinking, I can live with a messy house, the scratched up arms, and permanently smelling a bit like an old sock stuffed with warm popcorn, then you might just have found your perfect pet. Because ferrets are joy in motion. Built to make you laugh. Wired for curiosity.
Regal sweet.
And capable of a depth of love that catches you completely off guard. Life is never boring with a ferret as your best friend. One minute they're flinging themselves across the floor like tiny cartoon characters with no respect for gravity, and the next they're curled into your arm like you're the safest place in the world. They steal your belongings, your sleep, and eventually your heart. Because once a ferret chooses you, that bond is fierce, loyal, and deeply personal. They're not perfect, they're not easy, and they're definitely not tidy. But for those who fall for them, ferrets give back more joy, comfort, and laughter than you ever thought possible from something shaped like a sentient sausage.
Look how far we've come.
So what do you think? Are ferrets right for you? Or are you happier just watching mine? If you're leaning towards yes, this series continues here, where I cover the next steps towards bringing ferrets into your home. And if you still need more reasons to fall in love with ferrets, this playlist is for you. Drop your thoughts and questions in comments. I will always reply. See you next time, Floof Crew.